I'm surprised you haven't died with having seen the Godzilla trailer.
It's so gray.
Oh, you're not excited about it.
It's so fucking gray.
I don't know what that... I didn't see the trailer.
It's gray.
Like, meaning, like, it's just like... That's just the color scheme?
Yeah, it's gray. Welcome once again to Noah's Snark, where two former religious types and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
My name is Hillary.
And I am Josh, aka Kalki.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Please do.
So, Hillary, tell us what we're doing today.
Oh, today we are doing... Ramayan? Ramayan!
Perfect, nailed it.
Thanks, first try.
That was first try. As we discussed last week,
Yeah.
it is a show about chronicling the adventures and the history of Rama, who is an important figure in Hinduism. I don't know if he's technically considered a god. I don't think he is.
This is where I'm going to go ahead and say, I know nothing of Hinduism.
Yes,
And I still don't. I did no research.
I know a minor amount. More than most people, I think.
I acknowledge that I am unqualified for everything that's coming.
Well, part of, I think, religious media, especially good ones, would be making it accessible to people who don't know it already.
True.
Spoilers, this show does not.
No, this is for people who already know a lot.
Who are in there.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick rundown of Ramayan specifically, and how it fits into what the little bit I know about Hinduism generally, before we start.
Okay.
Ramayan is named after the Ramayana, possibly Ramayama. And it's, but you know how a lot of early mythologies, even Christianity starts with the Old Testament, and it's a bunch of stories about how things came to be?
The things that didn't have explanations for yet.
Right.
Simple explanations.
The Tower of Babel explains languages, the Exodus explains how Jews became Jews, I guess.
Right.
All that stuff. Ramayana is that book, is one of those books for Hinduism.
Okay.
So it's a story about Rama going on adventures and meeting stuff and talking about this and that and the other. A bunch of gods are in it, sort of similar to the Iliad for Greek mythology.
Okay.
And it's sort of an establishment of, it's both myth and history and legend all together in one big story. And Rama himself is the 7th avatar of Vishnu, who is one of the 3 most important god figures in Hinduism.
I know that name.
Yes. So because he's an avatar of Vishnu, meaning literally the god came down and became a human, he's a very important figure in the grand scheme of things. There are 10 avatars of Vishnu, 9 of which have already existed.
Okay.
Kalki, the nickname I gave myself, is the 10th, and he is going to come in and end the cycle of Nirvana, I think.
Like he hasn't shown yet?
He hasn't shown yet. He's their messianic figure.
Ah, okay.
Or a messianic figure, yeah. So he comes in, stuff happens, and he restarts or possibly ends the cycle of rebirth and stuff.
So he's like the end times?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's in a positive way or a negative way.
Sounds negative.
Yeah, but I think it might be more positive, like lifting everyone up, ending the cycle, but in a positive manner.
Okay, so...
But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Hindu expert.
I wish we had any Hindu friends.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who buys.
I know no one.
I don't know anybody who believes it.
I don't know anybody who... No. Well, you know people who...
Grew up in it, yeah. They're like our Indians. And...
Well, they should have been on the show.
Well, I don't know them that well. I probably know some people, but yeah, it's... So Vishnu has 10 avatars. Rama is 7th. Buddha is one of them. The Buddha is supposedly one of them. And Krishna is the 8th.
Okay.
Buddha was 9th then. So Krishna, which those are probably the big 3 that everyone knows of, even though probably most people don't know that Buddha is supposedly one of them. Now you know.
Yeah.
Boom. And then there's 6 before that, but I don't think most people would know them by name.
Gotcha.
Anyway, alongside Vishnu, there are 2 other primary gods. Shiva, you've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
And Brahma.
Brahma.
Brahma, yes.
I've seen...
Who's in the show.
That's why, yes. That's why that's fresh.
So the way that it works, Brahma is the creator of the cosmos. Vishnu is the sustainer of everything, and Shiva destroys things that need to be destroyed. So those three make the triumvirate that are the most important figures, probably, in Hinduism. And then there's sects of Hinduism which claim that one or the other are the real one god, and the others are just aspects of them. But that's more complicated than we need to deal with right now.
Yep.
Point is, Vishnu is a very important figure. This show revolves around Rama, one of his avatars, and his adventures. It should at least be interesting, especially because the show was super hugely popular.
Was it?
That's the claim.
Also, what year did this come out?
1986.
Okay, 80s. That makes... Okay.
Explains a lot, right?
It does, but it's also one of those things like, a lot of foreign films could be made a lot more recently and look a lot older, so I didn't know if it could have been in the early 2000s, and I wouldn't have, but especially since it was like, they were all in
yeah.
The outfits and everything were meant to look old, so there was nothing to date it for me.
That's true. Except for possibly the camera work.
But again,
then,
it was, You
could easily run a TV show on that camera still.
Right.
So, before we begin talking about the breakdown part, first impressions. I know how you feel already, but how do you feel out loud?
It was colorful.
Yeah?
Very colorful. Mm-hmm. Very hard to stay focused on it. Mm-hmm. A lot of reading, and not just I have no problem with subtitles, but also they were very boring. Mm-hmm. Very boring. It was so boring.
It was a lot of singing.
So much singing, and I do not enjoy Indian singing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
At all.
Yeah,
it was painful for me.
I get that.
Nothing against the culture.
Just don't like it.
Just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is possibly one of those issues that you might run across sometimes. Just because something is someone's culture doesn't mean you have to like it.
No.
And this is a perfect example. This was slow.
Yeah.
It was boring. Mm-hmm. It was really dense, but for no reason.
Yeah.
It was...
dense, but I also felt like I walked away knowing nothing else. I didn't feel like I learned anything from it whatsoever.
The singing was frequent and excessive and long for reasons I didn't fully understand.
Long songs with long, very boring dance sequences. Not even fun dance sequences.
And obviously, if you've seen any Bollywood movies, you know that singing is clearly a very important part of Indian culture.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It
except
is.
in most Bollywood, the singing and dancing is fun.
It is, yeah.
It's supposed to be lively and fun, and this is just it's chanting mostly.
It is, and it's like a dirge.
Yeah. If you imagine a Christian movie, which we often watch, that just had an actual hymn scene in it,
right?
You'd see what this is like. It's why are we watching people just sing a hymn? Not a good hymn.
No.
A boring hymn.
A boring hymn, and then people attempting to dance to it at points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't understand this even a little bit.
Right.
I don't want this.
This is the best answer they could find?
Yeah. So that's more what it's like.
Yeah.
Whereas in a more common...
or more recent.
You'd get excitement and fun, and even if the songs are still going to be about Vishnu and Shakti, you would get people having fun with it instead of praying.
Right.
Some of these are just people literally praying.
It's true.
So that's the thing.
It's so boring.
Yeah. So we're not off to a great start.
No, we're not.
But we've already finished what we're doing today, so we know.
But it is colorful, and I did enjoy that. I really love the costumes of ancient India.
The costumes are pretty solid.
I guess it wouldn't be costumes. The traditional...
the garb.
Yeah. Dig it. I dig it. It's beautiful.
So our opening screen is a big old blue one. Just solid blue. And the text on it reads, "From time immemorial, the great epic Ramayana and its teachings illuminated the path of human race." Some of it is not grammatically correct because...
right, translation.
So I might be reading it... I'm reading it directly, which may not sound right, but that's just how it's said.
Yep.
"It is not a dead literature of long ago. It has influenced and molded human life for thousands of years, and is still a living force today in the depths of Indian consciousness."
Yep, that doesn't need to be said. I didn't learn anything there. They didn't tell me anything about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because we know, like, if you know anything about Hinduism
I didn't,
or
and
Indian
I still
culture,
don't.
Right, but you don't. But if you did, you would already know this.
Right.
And if you don't, I guess now you know that the book Ramayana, or the epic Ramayana, is...
Except they didn't say book or epic. I don't know what Ramayana is still.
The Ramayana is an epic. It's a poem.
I know that now because you told me. Like, this didn't tell me that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no part of this show told me that. Mm-hmm. So I walked into it with no knowledge and left with no knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after this intro, this blue-screened intro, we are treated to a song about the Lord, who reposes in the coils of the great serpent and is the universe, the heavens, and blue as a cloud, even though clouds, as far as I know, are not blue.
No.
We cut to several gods who appear to be the subjects of this song, although they might be the singers. Their mouths aren't really moving, and the singing is happening, so I don't really know. They're gods, so I don't know their powers, I guess.
I don't know this part.
It was...
Is it the beginning where, like, there's the one guy who's, like, just, like, sitting on his hand? He's just, like, leaning on his hand?
Yeah, the blue guy.
Yeah. Who I thought was a woman because of the makeup, and he has a very feminine face with makeup, but then he also had no top and no boobs. So I'm like, okay, so man?
No, that's Vishnu.
Okay, and then when he talked, he had a very deep voice eventually.
Vishnu.
So, yeah.
And then, so we saw that. Vishnu's hanging out. He's blue and he's chilling.
Yeah.
And he's not responding.
No.
He's just chilling. And there's a woman next to him, I presume his wife.
No idea. Not explained.
And another song happens. And it still seems to be a reverential song about Vishnu. And he's literally just sitting there sleeping or resting or whatever.
He's so used to this.
He's
this
so
is just
used to
old
it.
hat.
And this time, he's told that he is in every atom, radiating bliss. And even ascetics who have risen above their emotions are enchanted by him. And he's approached by this cavalcade of singers in what appears to be a giant lake. And he finally opens his eyes as they finish up this song.
It appears to be a giant lake because it's definitely a blue screen of some sort. Like, they just have some weird... It's almost like the background is one of those, like, those backdrops that they put, like, behind, like, picture day.
Yeah.
But also kind of moving.
Yeah. I think it was mostly on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they're gods and they hang out in places that aren't just, like, human areas.
Well, except for it was humans that were singing to him, right?
I think those might have been...
Were those also gods? Because it looked like they were just hovering.
Yeah, so the person at the front was Brahma.
Okay.
That's one of the gods.
Okay.
But he had a whole convoy with him, and I don't know quite who those were.
Right.
They might have been human, they might have been spirits or something.
Right.
I'm honestly not sure. They talked about it a little bit. I think one of them was a guru, but I still don't know what that really means.
Correct. And
like, has he ascended to a higher plane?
Are they just visiting?
Are they just visiting?
Is this where they live now?
So I'm not certain, to be honest with you.
Cool. Me neither. Also, I like that this goes on long enough to where I'm like, is this entire show singing? Mm-hmm. I did not know what I was getting into. Mm-hmm. Like, if this is the entire 2 episodes that we're watching of just this weird singing, I'm going to be so annoyed.
But Brahma greets Vishnu and tells him of the evil demon king Ravan, who is oppressing people and destroying truth and dharma on earth. Worse still, he's been given boons by both Brahma and Shiva, so that no god, demon, or celestial being can harm or kill him. He is warned. Vishnu is warned, I guess for the audience, because Vishnu would know this, that when dharma is destroyed, it leads to sin and corruption, which inevitably leads to oppression. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's got a responsibility to take care of this. Despite the fact that Brahma, who's telling him this story, is the one who gave Ravan the superpowers that now he can't be harmed by either of them.
I can't believe I don't know where you're getting this information.
He said it!
Is it in the song?
No, it was after the song, and they were actually just talking.
Oh man, I drifted early.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy
I did
to
not
drift.
follow this whatsoever.
Let's be clear, this is half an hour. It took me about 90 minutes to watch.
I watched it in the half hour and then gave it no more time after that.
Yeah, no, that's the problem, because I was trying to take the notes here.
Right.
And I had to go back and go back and go back and
be
be like, okay.
You poor thing.
But these are the things that are occurring.
Okay.
Essentially the story here.
Uh-huh.
There is a bad guy, Demon King Ravan.
He's the one who steps on the earth.
He's the one who steps on the earth. Yet there is a scene where he literally
is stepping on the earth.
Stepping on the earth.
Like a globe.
He has been gifted by Shiva and Brahma so that no demon, celestial being, or god can harm him in any way.
Okay.
In his arrogance, he has neglected to get protection from men and primates.
Vishnu?
Ravan, the bad guy.
Well, why'd they bless the bad guy?
They didn't explain that part of the story.
Yeah.
Presumably he either tricked them or asked them when he wasn't evil yet.
Okay. Whatever, not explained.
Not explained. Doesn't
not
matter.
Explained.
My point of contention here is they come to Vishnu, like, hey, solve this problem, when they're the ones that created the problem.
Yeah, like, we gave this guy powers and now he's stepping on the earth.
Yeah. Like, shouldn't I fix this? Nah, let's talk to Vishnu.
Right.
And this might be related to their aspects, like their roles in the world, where Vishnu is the preserver. So if he's going to go preserve Dharma, then he has to go down to Earth and fix it. But I still feel like maybe you can split these responsibilities a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely don't cause problems and then expect somebody else to solve them.
Right. They just go to him and it's like, hey, fix it. At this point, after this explanation, Shiva joins in and tells Vishnu that the solution is to take a human form so that he can end the force of evil once and for all. This is when it becomes important that Ravan has not gotten protection from humans. Mm-hmm. It's similar to the story about Balder in Norse mythology, where...
Don't know it.
It's the reason mistletoe is considered dangerous, I guess. Or
mistletoe is considered dangerous?
Or some sort of special thing. I think it comes from the old Norse story. So his mom gets a prophecy that he's going to get killed. Mm-hmm. So she goes around the world and asks everything in the world to not harm him, to agree to not harm Balder at all.
Okay.
Except she neglects mistletoe because it's a tiny little plant and who would care?
That's the one thing. She asks every other plant?
Every other plant, animal, and creature.
I hate these stories.
So she neglects mistletoe, and the gods at this point have fun with Balder since he's invulnerable, and they hit him with weapons and throw stuff at him and just try to injure him, and it's just like, haha, it can't be harmed. So Loki convinces the blind god, whichever one that is, whose name I don't remember, to shoot him with an arrow made of mistletoe. Because Loki's a trickster and he's tricking stuff.
Right.
And the guy can't tell it's mistletoe, so he just does it. And he shoots the arrow, he kills the god. Loki's punished forever. But that's part of the story about, I think that's why mistletoe is considered like a thing. I don't even know what it's considered.
I just thought it was the thing that people have to kiss under.
Yeah, that might be related to it.
I don't get it.
I don't know. But this story seems similar to that. This guy has invulnerability against these entities except humans. Because what human could stand against him? Basically.
Okay.
Vishnu in human form, son of a bitch.
Loophole!
Loophole! So Vishnu agrees that this plan is the best way, and his plan is to go down to Earth in the form of man and humiliate Ravan by killing him in human form. He intends to make all of creation hail that only truth triumphs. And they start another little chant song thing where he does this.
Yeah, where my eyes rolled into the back of my head.
We now cut down to Earth, where a king and his guru discuss the sad fact that his own house of Raghu will die with him because he has not yet produced an heir.
Yeah. This man's beard is something to be worshipped.
Yeah.
I hate it. But it's so well kept.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost distracting. Like, I couldn't look away from it. I don't know how he got that shape.
You're talking about the king or the guru?
The king.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, is that who we're talking about?
The black hair, not the white.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, he's the one talking about it, and he hasn't produced an heir, so when he dies, his house will go with him.
Right.
He appears to have 3
wives
behind him. I thought they were daughters at first. Then I realized they were wives.
Yep.
So that was awkward. I was like, how does he have 3 wives? Is this a thing? And then I learned that was a thing.
Uh-huh. You did not know? That's something I knew because I went to women's studies.
Yeah. I know that there were a lot of, especially in Asia, concubines and multiple wives, but I just don't assume.
Yeah, gotcha. So, it's probably safe to not assume.
So I was like, oh, these 3 young women must be daughters. And it was like, nope, wives. And I was like, oh, okay.
Awesome, yeah. They're trying to protect the world from oppression, yet seem to have no problem with misogyny.
Mm-hmm. Well, it continues because the wives talk about...
not having a reason to live without a child.
Exactly. A woman's heart is empty until she has given birth.
This I paid attention to.
Do you want to?
No, I'm just going to tell you. Okay. Got me all heated up.
Yeah, so they talk about how a woman's heart is completely empty until she gives birth. Mm-hmm. And that's somehow ruder than I initially thought this was going to be.
Ruder?
I was like, they're not going to speak at all, and it's just about the king and the guru. Then they do speak, and I'm like, oh, it's worse.
It's worse.
They'll let her speak.
Awesome. We'll let her speak, but only so that she can make sure everyone knows she has no real purpose.
Until she has a child.
Right.
Which this entire scene is about.
And even then, like, literally giving birth is her purpose, and then she's still useless after that.
She raises him.
Kind of. She dotes on them.
Dotes on him?
Yeah.
The king is going on a quest to find a sage that will perform a ritual which will bring them progeny. He is going to appear in the role of a merchant instead of a king, because showing off his wealth and power to a wise man will return to him only his pride and his gold.
Yep, but he's still covered in gold. He didn't bring his elephants, though, so now the guru doesn't know he's so rich.
Well, the point is, like, you have to approach a wise man as any other man.
Right.
Because he won't be impressed by your power.
Yeah, except for he didn't change his outfit at all. I feel like he should have changed his outfit.
I'm not sure if we saw him do it. I'm pretty
no,
sure
we did. We saw him walking to the guru and then kneeling before the guru and doing that cry thing where they did the close-up of the tear in his eye.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, but he's covered in gold. And I think he has the equivalent of a crown.
Yeah, you're probably... Okay. Maybe they just didn't want to do another costume.
But he didn't bring all of his horses and all of his men and all of his elephants. So he toned it down.
Maybe the point is not he can't know who you are.
Right.
But rather...
that you come humbly.
You come humbly. Like, I am a king. He did get in front of you and cry. Like, that is humble.
Yes.
So maybe that's more.
And, like, grabbed his foot a bunch. So I guess that's something you do when you're being humble.
Right. Yeah. So that might be more the point. Because you're right. He was full regalia.
Yeah. But I just thought that was funny. I get it, but it was funny.
But the king runs off, like Hillary described, and he humbles himself before the sage. And we now find that it is a success because not only is he having a child, all three of the women are having children.
Yep.
One of them is having twins.
It's true. All boys. So it's the best possible circumstance. Yeah.
We now find out that Lord Brahma also sends several of his compatriots to Earth to be born alongside Rama, Vishnu, so that they can help out the newly born Rama. Mm-hmm. This would happen when they said we're going to have kids. We saw Brahma back up in wherever, the cosmos, and he talks to, remember his, like, convoy? He points to, like, one or two of them, and he's like, you guys are gonna go down and be these children.
Nope, don't remember that.
Yeah,
so that's who the children are.
Yeah. So
Vishnu, I had no idea.
Vishnu, and then at least two of the kids are two of Brahma's people.
Is Ram Vishnu?
Ram is Vishnu.
Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna call him Ram from now on, so we don't make that confusion, but just remember
because
that Ram.
Their guru guy names them all.
Yes. Apparently gurus are the ones who name babies.
And he like gives them like not powers, but gives them like personalities or you know what their duty or role in life will be, which reminds me of Sleeping Beauty. And they just like come and they're like, and now you have the gift of beauty and you have the gift of song.
So actually, I think I know what this is. We'll get back to it in just a second.
Okay.
First, I want to talk about how there's a celebratory song and dance that follows this announcement of the children being born, and it continues for 45 years.
Wait, seriously? Does it say that?
No. It's just me.
I get you're being hyperbolic.
Yes.
It does continue for 45
because
years.
When this is over, I am an old gray man, and I've been dead for 25 years. But the song finally ends, and we get to see little baby Ram. Mm-hmm. Show's over because I'm a corpse. Yep. Not interested. All right. But this is the part Hillary was talking about where the guru names the children. Their names are Ram, Bharat, and the twins are Lakshman and Shatrughan. Shatrughan! That's how I remembered it, actually.
Good job with those pronunciations.
Yeah, I tried.
Ram is as far as I got.
But this is what you were talking about. He looks at the kids and he talks about the signs and then gives them names and what they might be in the future or should be in the future. Like,
he gives them names, like, appropriate to their roles.
So, I'm pretty sure I know what this is, because this is a thing that I've seen a couple of times.
Okay.
There are features on a person that apparently are prophetic for who they are.
Like physical features?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the guru has, like, astrology powers and he knows that stuff too.
Right.
But there's also physical features, because he mentioned it on a couple of the babies. He's like, he's got long ears. Stuff like this is important. Buddha is the one I know most specifically. The Buddha has a very specific description, and a lot of the avatars of Hindu gods do as well, because they're supposed to represent things. So, like, long ears make you wise. You're wise. And, like, you have webbed feet, that's something else. Or you've got really long fingers. That's another thing.
You're a pianist.
Yeah, stuff like that is important. I don't know it, obviously.
Well, now I know. I want to know what my features mean.
But presumably a guru would look at your baby, look at the features, and be like, these are the qualities that your baby will have because of these features. And that's essentially, I think, why he named them these things, because of the features they have and the appropriate name.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we have Ram, Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrughan. They are totes adorable with their cute little baby faces. Yeah, they're just babies. But the guru is able to read the signs, and he announces that the boys will share such strong fraternal love, they will be legendary, with Ram and Lakshman being a particularly strong bond, alongside the Bharat and Shatrughan. So apparently each of the twins will like one of the other boys a little bit more than the others.
Yeah, a little pair off. That makes sense. That's kind of a classic sibling thing. Mm-hmm. Which is why having 3 kids is cruel.
We now get another song, and it's basically about baby Ram growing up, and we watch his little tiny toddler feet run around, and...
But, just so much baby butt.
Yeah, it's a lot of baby butt. I'm pretty sure there's a baby penis.
This goes on for fucking ever, too.
Was there a baby penis?
No, it's covered up by that, weird...
But, barely.
I wasn't really paying attention, but there had to have been, because it's barely covered.
Yeah, so
Either way, mostly naked baby running around. It's not cute to me. I hate it.
He's chasing his dad. They're, playing.
I guess.
And he's just like, blah, 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 I'm running.
And they're singing a song about it.
Yeah.
And the song lasts
At
another
this point,
75 years.
The corpse that I already am, because of all the singing, has turned to ash.
Right.
I cannot continue any longer.
No, I'm sitting next to Juno the husky watching this and be like, Juno, I fucking hate this. And her eyes were like those husky eyes where she's like, this is awful. Why is this happening? Don't do this to me.
But the song eventually does end. And we go back to Shiva and his wife checking in on the tiny Lord Vishnu. And he cries hysterically as babies do sometimes. The wife of Shiva is confused about how he is supposed to be the almighty Lord Vishnu, but he cries like a common human babe.
Petulant.
And Shiva explains the metaphor. He works within the confines of humankind to follow the path of karma, to uphold dharma and truth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like he has to be like a human in order to do his duty.
And I think I don't know if they explain it, but I think the metaphor is supposed to extend further.
Yeah.
Like, if a god can come down and uphold karma as a human, then you can too.
Probably.
Which I think is what they're going for.
Yeah, using using everything that humans have and only what humans have.
Right. Yeah. He can do it. Why can't you?
Right.
So it works.
Sure.
And her doubts are set aside because Shiva has explained it to her.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we had to listen to 45 seconds of a screaming child.
Yeah, well, he's explaining. It's just a kind of child.
Screeching.
I forgot about that.
I'm going to throw my laptop across the room.
Yeah, it was so annoying. At least they have commitment to their bit, I guess.
I guess.
And Shiva gives us a surprising twist. He's going to head to Earth as Hanuman, and he's going to serve Ram as well. Oh, dang! End of episode 1.
It was only 32 minutes, but it felt so long.
It was. Oh, boy.
It felt so long.
And we have another one to go.
I know.
So, Hanuman, if you're not aware, is also a relatively popular Hindu god.
Okay. He's the one who decided to come. He was like, I'm going to go serve that child.
Yeah. We don't see him in the first 2 episodes. But
he fell in love with Ram as a baby. And then decided, I'm going to leave my heavenly perch and go be human so that I can follow that child everywhere.
So do you remember the 2 types of creatures that can harm Ravan, the Demon King?
Humans.
And?
Primates.
Yeah. So Hanuman is the monkey god of Hinduism. And he is what he sounds like. He's a monkey.
Yeah.
Or a primate of some sort.
Yeah.
And he is apparently hangs out with Ram, which I didn't fully know myself.
Well, how come they didn't show us a monkey? Why was there no monkey in this?
Because I guess they haven't met yet. Maybe they meet when
maybe
Ram's
later.
an adult.
Maybe later episodes.
And Ram's not an adult.
Which I will not watch.
When I was finding the first 2, I found a couple of them, and there is at one point where an adult Ram fights a bird person.
Like, was it a person dressed like a bird?
Yeah. And there's like really bad special effects, and he's like, swipe! fight with his sword.
Right.
The birds flying around.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna do it.
There's bird people.
That sounds terrifying.
It looks like the first 2 episodes here were just set up for when he's an adult and goes on adventures.
Gotcha.
And sort of establishing the premise.
Right.
So they weren't the best choices. But they were the first 2 that these people put out, so like...
We can't do later episodes without having done the first.
You would not have even barely understood the later ones, I guarantee.
I don't understand this, so
Right.
There's no way in hell. Absolutely not, you're right.
So we needed this. Alright, so we're on to episode 2. The babies are back, and they're chewing on some shiny golden toys or figures or
They're
statues.
a little taller now, and they can run around.
Right. A musical interlude with one of their moms, I think Ram's mom, praying before an altar, allows them to advance time quickly. And so now he's adolescent? He's a teenager, maybe? He's like 9, 10?
Maximum 9.
Okay. He's about 9 years
I
old.
was going to say 7 or 8.
Yeah. But he's refusing to get out of bed because he's a kid, am I right?
Yeah. This is such a weird scene. Such a weird, long scene.
It's...
Of, like, moms kind of cuddling their too old to be cuddled sons, in my opinion. Lots of... I don't know. I hated it.
Yeah. But she eventually gets him out of bed. After this extremely long song to the gods. And he wakes up and he's looking for his bow. Because he's going mango hunting with all of his friends.
Yeah, he's like a little brat about it, too.
Mom, where's my bow?
Yeah, and like the mom needs to be like, please, thank you.
Right.
But she's not. She's like, oh,
What are you doing?
what a delight. I love when you yell at me.
Are they friends or brothers? Are they brothers?
They're all brothers.
Yeah, I guess they're brothers.
Well, they're stepbrothers. Well, stepbrothers?
Half-brothers.
Half-brothers, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're going...
I mean, the twins are just straight up brothers.
Right. But they're all going mango hunting. They're going to go to the mango grove to shoot down as many mangoes as possible and see who is the best. So he's in a hurry to get there before the others can get there and get a head start. But Mom won't give him his bow just yet. She says that he needs to bathe, pray, and eat something before he goes off hunting mangoes.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you fucking wake me up earlier?
Yeah.
Bitch.
he was yeah.
Awful.
But and she took it in stride.
Yeah.
But she could have easily been like, I was here for 20 minutes trying to wake you up.
Yeah.
I will slap you in your face.
Also, I'm your fucking mom. You will not speak to me that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a parented child.
But the good news is we don't have to watch him go through all of this.
That's true.
We just cut to them mango hunting. And it's my favorite part of the thing. Spoilers for Best Worst right now.
Okay.
Because they show arrows flying through the air, and there's
Yeah.
a slide whistle.
Yep. It's literally just like an arrow hanging.
Yeah.
There's no visuals to make it seem like it's moving at all. It's just like a picture of an arrow with a slide whistle. You're right. It's very funny.
The sound of an arrow flying through the air.
Right. And then 4 boys misusing bows.
Oh, so they're shooting the mangoes down. And they're talking about, that's mine, blah, blah, blah. And there are these guards hanging out by the mango grove while they're shooting arrows. And the guards just hanging out by the mango grove. These are small children.
Really not knowing how to use bows. And we're watching them not use bows correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just shooting, and the guards, you're gonna die.
That's a very good point. I did not even think of that. They're literally inches away from death.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Nothing happens that should, because in this situation, some of those guards are just shot.
Right. There should be a bunch of mangoes and some
corpses.
just lying around.
And the guard that's counting the mangoes is like, that's 4 mangoes for Ram and 1 guard for Bharat. Congratulations, you've killed your first man.
Do you think that the guard murders add to or detract from your mango score?
Yeah, how many guards is a mango worth? Or how many mangoes is a guard worth?
I don't know. The mangoes is clearly what they're going for.
Yeah.
So I would think that killing the guard would detract. So I'd say a guard was worth like 2 or 3 mangoes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're a dime a dozen for these people. They're very rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just like, get some more servants.
Like, damn it, 3 more mangoes down.
Exactly.
I've killed another guard.
You now have -3 mangoes.
But it turns out that Lakshman just has a bloodlust and he's only shooting guards. It's like, I've lost the competition, but I've won the war. This is stupid. Anyway, the guards just need to get out of the way, is my point.
Yeah, yeah. Or do a better job counting, because there's no reason the kids should argue about this in a second.
Yeah. The children inevitably begin to argue about who has shot down which mangoes.
Yep.
And while they are doing this, Ram goes over to the bunches and he gives all of his to Bharat, while Bharat and their mothers comment on how close they are.
Yeah, this is fun for me also, watching the three mothers watching their children be brats.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're literally
screaming, fighting, hitting each other with their bows. The moms are like, "Oh, boys. Boys are being boys." Yeah, just like, ugh.
In fact,
these kids are going to grow up to be bastards.
The part that stood out to me was while they were talking about Ram giving all of his mangoes to Bharat and how close they were.
Yeah.
One of the moms calls Bharat a clever little schemer.
Yeah.
And the other mom, now is the only time she takes any sort of offense. She's like, "Don't you call my Bharat a schemer."
Yeah. Also, Bharat isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
He's just
they might have
standing.
been, to be fair, it was kind of unclear. They might have been saying Ram was a schemer.
Maybe.
But then she said, "Don't call Bharat a schemer."
Yeah,
so
I heard that too, and I was confused. I'm like, Bharat has nothing. I mean, did he tell Ram to go give him mangoes? No.
He's just watching.
Right.
He's not even.
He's not participating in the fighting or the moving of mangoes. Chilling. Yeah, I hate this scene.
But it's just funny to me.
I hate kids. They're like being praised for being awful.
Mm-hmm. The only part at which any of the mothers has any response to all of this happening is, "Don't call Bharat a schemer." It's like, that's the part that you're upset about, right?
Right.
Your kids are fighting. But yeah, so the twin boys are literally almost sword fighting with their bows. They're just trying to hit each other on the heads as hard as they can. But eventually, Ram comes back and he breaks up the fight. Bharat has predictably won because Ram cheated.
Right.
and
that was considered a virtue. Mm-hmm. It was virtuous for him to cheat.
Well, he didn't cheat for himself.
Still.
So that's something.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just had a fair competition and someone would have won anyway.
Right.
But he didn't, benefit himself in this regard. So
it's a better way to cheat.
It's a better way to cheat. If you're going to cheat for someone else.
Right.
And the moms talk about how they need to enjoy such simple things while they can, because the boys are headed off on the hermitage soon, and they will be away for quite some time.
Thank God.
We find out that they will be sent to perform a thread ceremony. Well, they will have all their hair cut, and they will be ordained as celibates before they ask for alms from people.
Yeah, this is a problem.
They will also sleep on the floor. They will walk barefoot with no umbrellas for rain or sun, and they will serve the guru while they're on their pilgrimage. They can't ask their relatives.
It's basically military camp.
Yeah, I guess it's
spiritual military camp.
Spiritual military camp, exactly. They also can't ask their relatives for their alms. If you don't know what alms are, they're basically money.
Mm-hmm. Except for when they give alms, it's powder?
I don't know.
It was bizarre. It looked like they were just pouring sand into a bag.
I guess it's representative, maybe?
I don't know.
But the point is, they can't ask for relatives because it is important that on the hermitage, the rich and the poor are treated as equals. And if you were just asking your relatives, obviously the rich would get a lot more because their families have more to give. So you can't ask your relatives for it because otherwise you'd be at a clear advantage. You must be treated as same as others. And I do like this theme of treating people the same regardless of where you come from. Yeah. Obviously, it's not how any real society has ever worked.
No.
But I like the idea.
I like the idea. I like the effort.
And this show, as a retelling of a Hindu sort of base text, it's good that they push this, especially at the beginning. People should be treated the same.
Yeah.
As far as a huge
we
mass
can say
media
it
production,
for as many decades as we need to, as many centuries as we can, and it will change nothing about humanity.
That's true. But it also, for me, brings up an interesting point about how so-called entrepreneurs often work. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought about it when I was doing it, but I was. And I was like, everyone's like, if you just work really hard and, get a small loan of $10 million.
From your dad.
From your dad. You, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Own a business. Shark Tank. I love that show.
Do you?
I watch it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I love that show.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Occasionally, every episode, there's someone who's like, how much did you raise from friends and family? They're like, $2 million.
Yeah.
It's like my entire family doesn't have $2 million.
Everybody I've ever met in my life could not get $2 million together.
It's like, hey, I'm happy that you could get that money and you have a successful business.
You need to see that, though, as not starting with your bootstraps.
Right, but let's stop comparing your situation to mine.
Right.
I wish
Yeah.
I could collect $2 million from just people I know.
Last week, people were up in arms on BuzzFeed. Well, it was a BuzzFeed article about another article from another website. Who do, like, apparently this website has a regular, like, article thing where they talk about people and how they spend their money. Or basically, like, what they're able to do with a certain amount of money.
Oh, I know this.
Yeah, and then apparently they had, like, the headline was something like how this girl lives in New York on $25 an hour. And, like, everybody's like, okay, that's the headline. But what they're not telling you is her parents pay her rent, pay, like, her cell phone bill, pay, like, all of her
insurance.
Yeah, and then give her, like, $800 a month or something. Their grandparents give her more money a month. And so, like, apparently the only thing she spends money on is getting waxed. And, oh fuck, I can't remember. Maybe, like, her Netflix or something. Yeah. No, she used her parents' Netflix. I can't remember. Like, they named the 3 things that she is in her budget, and they're just luxuries. Yeah, so it's similar. It's similar to that. Like, not understanding that having a leg up is,
Like, it is fine that you have a leg up.
Yeah,
if you
just acknowledge that you have a leg up.
Just don't pretend that, like, I do it on $25 and you can too.
Right.
Like, my parents don't have $3,000 to give me a month. Right. They're paying your rent, giving you $800 and paying your health insurance.
Yeah.
That's $3,000 easy.
Right.
I might be being generous.
Like, and her part of the rent was, like, over $1,000 a month. It was, like, $1,000 to $3,000.
Right.
A month. Yeah, like, which no 20-something in that situation could possibly afford.
Right. And that's the sort of thing I was thinking about a lot.
She was like in an unpaid internship, or like a low-paid internship, or something stupid. Whatever.
Yeah.
Society.
It's just like every like immigrant who works 2 or 3 jobs has an hour off a week is lazy because they're not super rich.
Yeah.
But the people who start with obvious benefits,
right,
and then still do work very hard. No one's taking that away.
What's the quote? Born on third, thought you got a triple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still work very hard. You might work 16-hour days some days. Maybe most days. But you started with a ton of cash.
Right.
And can easily turn that into more cash.
Right.
You don't get to pretend that you built yourself up from literal ground floor.
It's easier to make money into more money.
Right.
It's not easy to make dirt into money.
Right.
Like, nothing into money is a lot harder than money into more money.
Right. And for some reason, this scene made me think of that.
Yeah.
It's like,
100%.
we are rich. And the kids know they are. I mean, their dad's a king. It's like, we come from a good place. You need to be treated the same as everyone else. At least on this spiritual military camp you're at.
Right, which I'm all for.
Which I'm all for. More people need to go through it. It's like people often say, like, everyone should have to spend, like, a month serving. Yeah,
everyone should wait tables. Everybody should work in customer service. Like, everyone should have these experiences.
Yeah, and just, like, deal with that, and then you can take away what you want with it, but at least you'll know.
Right.
And when you're being a piece of shit, you'll know you're being a piece of shit. Because you've been...
Hopefully. If you're capable of learning and growing and thinking of anybody besides yourself, then yes, this is a good learning opportunity.
All right. So past that, we also learn that on the Hermitage, they will also learn about the Vedas. That's what the books like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata are called.
Okay.
Important texts for Hinduism and Hindus.
Okay. Are there their own books that make up a whole book? What are you talking about? Vedas are...
I believe Veda is more a term for just important text.
Oh, okay.
So it can be multiple books.
Gotcha. Okay. It's not like the title of a book.
No.
Okay.
It is a collection of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So they learn about the Vedas, geography, astrology, math, music, ethics, and Dharma. And one of the kids is most interested in whether he'll still get to hear his mom's lullabies. And then one of the moms makes fun of him and mocks him because it was said by the guru when he was named that he will be a great warrior whose name strikes fear into the hearts of his enemies. But he just wants to hear his mom's lullabies. Is that what you want to hear, little baby? You just want to hear lullabies? I'm hoping it's not his mom.
Fucking warrior. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not his mom because she's over here mocking
I have no idea which mom is who's, like...
Me neither.
Yeah.
But... I was like, holy shit, that's an adult woman making fun of a 9-year-old.
No, these women only exist to be bad, like, awful. They're awful.
But his response was, don't warriors listen to lullabies?
Yeah, and then Ram's like, I'll sing to you, and everybody's, like, laughing again. Like, that's a sweet gesture.
I think they took it as a sweet gesture, though. Because the person who was mocking the child before was thrown off by the response.
Right.
Like, warriors don't listen to lullabies? And she was like, And then Rama's like, I'll sing to you. And everyone's like, oh, adorable. Rama's so cute.
Rama's the best.
So I think that's what it was.
Okay.
But you're right. It could have also just been mocking all the children. It's hard to tell. So we now cut to the children at the Hermitage, where they are completely bald, and they look deeply unsatisfied.
Yes, and also by completely bald, it's such a clear bald cap.
Oh,
and here's, it's much easier to tell with these kids than you can tell in most, film, because they have such amazing hair, which was distracting from the beginning. As babies, they had too much hair.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, they had so much hair. Mm. So getting that much hair to lay flat for a bald cap is just meant that they look like they had these weird bulbous heads. You can see where they tried to stuff all that thick, gorgeous Indian hair into it.
I'm with you.
It looked so hilarious.
They are now officially declared celibates. They are adherents of Brahma, the diamond-armored Indra, and Agni, the god of fire. And only after those are they disciples of the Guru, who says they should imbibe his good qualities and not his flaws before passing on his first teaching. Speak the truth and do what Dharma declares.
Do you have the definition of Dharma?
They gave it earlier in the first scene.
I studied Buddhism very briefly.
They said it in the first scene, but I don't remember what it was. It was just basically...
The principle of cosmic order is all it says for Hinduism.
Okay, so that makes some sense. Because what they were saying earlier was that you follow karma, what karma tells you to do, to uphold dharma, which in turn is the thing that prevents oppression and violence and that sort of horrible stuff that Ravan is causing by taking over the world.
Gotcha.
Got me?
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So dharma is essentially, order as a result of good things.
Cool.
And Vishnu, as the balancer of the cosmos, is the one who's supposed to preserve that sort of thing.
Cool.
As far as I know. Now, after being told this by the guru, they recite the mantra, which everyone knows is Om.
Yep.
So they do an Om scene for a little bit. And we now cut to a thing more closely resembling a celebration. So they're singing and there's praying. And there's a tiny bit of dancing, but I don't know if we'd call it that.
Movement. Erratic movement.
Yeah.
To music.
Yeah. And the children then ask for their alms in a choir. They're all singing.
Yeah.
For their alms.
Yeah, but also is this not where the mothers pour sand into their shirts?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm so confused by this.
It was very strange, to be honest. But it doesn't matter, I guess. They got their alms. Even though it looked exactly like their mom. And they're not supposed to ask their mom for it.
Yeah, that was also confusing. I thought it was their moms giving them this sand.
Yeah, because they're all brothers, so at the very least, that's their aunt.
Right.
That's still
it's
family.
It's either their mom or their aunt.
So I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is they get their alms and this scene's over. Back at home, one of the moms is feeling very empty without the children around, and she worries, while the king listens quietly and grows frustrated with her whinging.
Yep.
You can see it on his face. He's just like, shut up.
No, she's all emotion. She's like, emotion's good.
He paces around the room while she asks why he won't speak to her at all, and tells him that hiding sorrow only sharpens the pain, and that hiding the heart's pain does not make one a great warrior. Mm-hmm. He finally responds, asking when he said he was ever a great warrior. And confesses the pain that he's feeling.
Right.
I did kind of like this response.
I kind of did too.
He's kind of he's like, bitch, I never said I was
I'm not a great warrior.
I'm just upset.
I just don't go crying and throwing myself on pillows about it.
Now, he does somewhat explain. He says there is no recourse for them to help, and they must be without their children for a while. She says that a mother's heart is not as hard as a father's, and he responds that mothers think that love is their duty, but fathers must suppress their emotions for the sake of their sons, so that their sons can also learn to place their duty above their emotions. So I think going forward, that might be an interesting theme for the show, but we're not going to see it, so... So I don't know what's going to happen. What, am I going to read the Ramayana to find out if that's a theme?
No.
Ugh.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Anyway, the mom Anywho...
No, say anyway.
Anywho...
I hate it.
The mom claims that such high talk of duty is beyond the understanding of a mother. They can only see their sons now who are looking for their mother's lullabies.
Our only duty. Our only duty.
Love.
No. Motherhood.
Motherhood, exactly. And she's not high-minded enough for this talk of duty.
No, yeah, exactly.
She's dealing with loving babies and just singing lullabies.
Just sing your lullaby to yourself in your bed, and just die. Die there.
Mm-hmm. So the king man goes to one of the other wives and asks her if she too thinks that he is hard-hearted, like the one that he was just talking to. She says no. She's the smart one, and she understands that a father has to walk a stern path of duty, which is much nobler than emotion.
Much nobler.
He tells her that she can be so tranquil and noble because she is Ram's mom, and he wants to learn to be courageous, like the mom is.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's better than nothing.
Using the word courageous is good.
Basically, his point is he is in pain, and he feels the same things that the moms do, but he is trying to suppress it because he's trying to teach his sons the same thing.
Right.
Put your duty above your emotion. But he's
also saying that, but his sons aren't there to learn from him doing this. They have no idea whether he's how he's reacting.
Be weeping in pillows.
It has no effect whatsoever on his sons. Know. Right.
But he does give Ram's mom a compliment in that she is very courageous because she isn't resisting the urge like he is to be overly emotional about it. So I guess there's that. It's one of those, like, turn off your emotions thing, which is kind of bad.
Yeah, it's like, well, the masculine tendency is considered to be the more proper, the correct way to respond.
Right. But it's also at least somewhat progressive in the sense that he can learn from her.
Yeah.
And in a lot of other stuff.
He sees value in her.
Right. You're not even getting that far.
Right.
Like, why are you talking?
Not just a vagina.
Right. A womb, even.
Right, yeah.
If they could do it without the vagina,
womb.
They would.
I don't think so. I think he enjoys the vagina also.
Probably. He's got 3 wives.
Ugh. So much work.
So we're back to the children, who are now singing at the ashram. And I have completely stopped focusing on all the songs by now. Not that I was ever really paying attention.
Nope, I did not listen, or I guess read any more songs.
But this is another hymn about gods, and we realize it's done to a statue of one god or another. I'm not sure which one.
It was a lady, and she was all pale white.
Mm-hmm. The guru tells them that they have come to imbibe knowledge from him, but must first know how to take care of their bodies, because if they are ill, how will they study? Man's body is made of 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, ether, and air. And if all the elements are balanced, the body remains healthy. Things that affect your body are food, drink, the environment, and your thoughts and actions. Yeah. And all of those must be simple and restrained, because that's the magnetic effect that maintains balance in the universe as well as the body. Right,
which I can get behind the body stuff, but then he starts getting to magnets, and I don't think he knows what a magnet is.
Yeah, that's the part I stopped. I was like, what the fuck?
He tries to explain,
how magnets create electricity.
Right.
And the waves of the universe.
There's something about the magnets circling over our body, and there's a certain way you need to sleep in a direction because of the way the Earth... I'm like, oh, he doesn't know what a magnet is.
Yeah, I completely...
It's fine.
This is probably just, like...
It could be a translational thing. Like, it could be, like,
my
energy.
Guess is,
I feel like he meant energy.
It's possible that's the case. I also think it might just be the show was just taking the Ramayana and making it a TV show. So they didn't skip the parts they're just...
Incorrect.
Right. It's similar to how the Greeks thought humors were a thing.
Right.
Or people thought humors were a thing. And if you were telling a story about Aristotle, you might have a episode about humors, even though like humors aren't a thing,
right?
And this also is not a thing, but it's part of their tradition, so they're just including it.
Yep.
You know, so it's fine. It was just it was a weird side track.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this?
Superimposed over like the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little strange, but it was at least like it made sense in a traditional Hinduism way.
Yeah. Okay.
He talks to the children some. And he confirms that they will have a hard life right now, so that they can face any hard situation in their adult lives. They may be princesses. They may be princes. But if they are exiled in the forest and are weak, they will not survive. But the hard labors and circumstance of the ashram will prepare them to survive in any conditions.
Another thing I can get behind. This is basically Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if this was like... This is where there could be a gray area of somebody believing this and then putting children through fucking torture and hell. So, it's not a bad way to think, but some people are gonna interpret that and put that into action in a terrible, terrible way.
Right.
But I can get behind this one.
Right. And then there's a little montage where they carry water barefoot and dig in the fields and do a bunch of labor.
Learn how to plant a tree, which is cool.
And we learn how to plant a tree. And then some time passes, the boys are a little bit older, and we see that the tree has grown. And it will one day be a huge tree. And this is another metaphor about how trees will shelter anyone, regardless of their wealth or status or demeanor, poor or rich, good or evil.
Yeah.
Trees will help as much as they can.
Trees are not discerning.
Right. And trees give the example of how people should help others, unselfishly and without distinction.
Yep. Love it.
One of the children takes this as a lesson to not cut down trees either, and the guru begins to confirm this, and then the video ends.
Okay, I was scared. I'm like, did I pick the wrong video?
Nope, it's the right
It
one.
was at the end of the episode, though,
Not
right?
technically.
Like, there had been a little bit more, but he was explaining how, like, no, the trees are sacred and we do not cut them down, and then edit. Like,
Right.
like
Just
cut.
hard cut.
Hard cut, next episode starting.
Right. Now, it's been about 32 minutes, and the episodes are only about that long, so
Right.
we couldn't have missed much.
Right.
But the episode did end a little prematurely on YouTube where we watched it,
Right.
but it's fine. I checked episode 3. It just begins here. Nothing really changes.
Okay.
They're adults now, and they're still working at the ashram. So apparently
Okay.
when they say the kids are going to be gone in a while, they mean like 10 years.
Or, like,
'Cause-
until they're adults.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
these kids are like 5, 8, 6 feet tall. They're all, grown.
Right.
But,
It's like they're sent off to private school.
yeah. So we didn't miss a ton, but the video did just cut off.
Okay. I'm glad yours did, too. I was
that's the-
so confused.
Yeah, so that's the end of episode 2. We learned a lot about how trees are examples for how people should be,
Trees are great. I like them.
and some other stuff.
Yeah. Some other stuff.
So we're done with our episode, really.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
It was very boring, colorful. The information itself is interesting. It just wasn't presented as interesting.
Oh, boy.
I'm interested
Right.
in this and understanding that.
This was like watching the worst lecture of all time.
Right, exactly. You know what they need? Remember, you might not know this, but do you know Jim Henson's Storyteller?
Yeah.
They did, like, Jim Henson's Storyteller did, like, a special series that were just, like, I think it was just Greek mythology. Like, if Jim Henson's Storyteller could do, like, all, like, Hindu mythology or, like, origin stories, that would get my interest, and that would be way more informative.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to watch that.
I get that.
I want puppets to teach me.
Well, this may not be the last Ramayan-related thing we ever do.
Okay.
I might have a list. But,
You say might. I think you do.
but yeah, this is an example of one version of it. And one that I also found incredibly hard to really focus on.
Yeah.
I wish they had at least started with more of the fun stuff, because there is a Ram fighting a Birdman at one point. And I know that these stories, I don't know a ton of them, but I know that there's fights.
Yeah.
And there's
Like any
intrigue.
mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's stories about, like, your friend betrays you, but did he really, or is he really helping you? And there's gods and demons and creatures and adventures, and that's the part I wanted.
Fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So we might have to at least take a look at some other Ramayana-inspired media.
I'm in. Totally down.
Yeah, if it was more, like, engaging, you'd probably
Engaging
be
and
in, right?
educational.
To be fair, this show is 86 episodes long, so they had plenty of time to get to it.
Right.
They don't have to rush.
True. And I feel like this is also made for people who already have an understanding of the culture and the stories.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just not into music just being interspersed into things. I don't like it.
I usually do. I usually do. When done correctly and done well. I do not like it when it feels fucking like wedged in.
This one felt wedged in a lot.
It felt very wedged in.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick.
Yeah.
What's the best? What's the worst?
Worst was the pacing, which just is why it was so boring.
Yeah.
Best is the wardrobe, costumes, all that. I love it. It's pretty. It's aesthetically pleasing to me.
Worst for me is going to be the mini ceremonies/songs in every episode. There's at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I don't like any of them.
Right, with rough translations too. So you're like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're really saying, and the music's not particularly engaging.
Right. Why does it take you 20 minutes to wake up your kid?
And why is it taking you so long to wake up your kid? The best was obviously The arrow with the slide whistle. I got my mangoes!
I get it. Also,
right.
Now I want mangoes. It sounds good, doesn't it? Refreshing.
All right, Hillary, it's time to talk about what we're doing next week.
I can't wait.
Here you go.
The Omega Code.
Starring
Casper Van Dien.
Yep.
I know that name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of the other people. Michael York, Catherine Oxenberg, Michael Ironside.
You know Michael Ironside.
I don't think so.
Well, have you ever been curious what Starship Troopers and Dynasty have in common?
I am now.
We'll wonder no more, because Casper Van Dien and Michael Ironside from Starship Troopers
Yes.
team up with Catherine Oxenberg.
Wait, are they both from Ironside? They're both from Starship Troopers? Okay, then I guess I do know this.
Michael Ironside was the professor/military commander who had the metal arm.
Okay. I
And no
barely
legs.
remember it.
No? Okay.
No. I mean, I only saw it once and it was another Riff Tracks thing.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so anyway, I interrupted you.
So they're in Starship Troopers, and Catherine Oxenberg is in Dynasty. That's her.
I never saw Dynasty.
Well,
she
if you
looks
did.
like she should be in Dynasty.
She was in Dynasty.
Okay.
Like all of it. Most of it. She was in like 54 episodes. I don't know how long
Gotcha.
it
So
ran.
those worlds are finally combined.
Combined.
This is like a real movie.
Yeah, it's a real movie.
This came out in theaters?
I think so.
I've never heard of this.
It's the Omega Code.
A most important prophetic message is one of the quotes on the front.
I like not just a movie, a miracle.
Like a miracle of modern day filmmaking?
I guess so. So yes, Casper Van Dien and Michael Ironside from Starship Troopers
Okay.
team up with Catherine Oxenberg from Dynasty
Okay.
to make a movie based on the Bible Code and the end of the world.
Okay, I'm so in on this.
Of particular note for this movie is that Casper and Catherine got married before this movie was released, after meeting earlier in the same year.
Really? So there's a real life love thing happening.
So that should be fun to watch these two make googly eyes at each other.
So it'll be like watching Scream 2.
Rather than talk about reviews, although they were quite bad for this movie, let's talk about the premise of it.
Okay.
The Bible Code.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what it is?
No, not at all.
It's bullshit.
Okay.
But let's give a quick breakdown. It's this idea that you can take the punctuation and spaces out of the Torah or the Bible and just write all the words down. Exactly like that. And then you use a program, a computer, to skip equal numbers of letters to get little secret codes.
Okay.
So, like, start here, skip every 8, and make a series of things,
Okay.
and then you end up with codes.
All right, well, which translation are they going to be using for any of this?
Among the many problems
Yeah.
are issues of translating, are issues of confirmation bias.
Right.
It's a whole big thing. There's a History Channel special on it that I saw a long time ago, which is when I first heard about it.
Yeah.
But basically they claim that the Bible predicted Hitler. The Bible predicted Princess Diana's death.
Oh my god.
The Bible predicted the Kennedy
Are
assassination.
you serious?
These are just cited in this movie. There are others that I cannot even remember.
Oh my god.
There's claims that it also tells the future, obviously. If you could get the right code, you could see what's going to
Obviously,
happen.
yeah.
When the History Channel special ran, they mentioned a couple of suggestions for, like, the end of the world's coming up.
Yeah,
Those have
was it
long since
2012?
passed. I think someone claimed that the tribulation might start in, like, 2013, maybe? Obviously, it hasn't started yet. I think we would notice. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Trump's around. But...
It's just the cycle of history. Trump's just part of the cycle of history repeating itself.
But it's... And that wasn't 2013, by the way.
Right.
So yeah, so it's a whole code, and it's this idea that you can... among the many problems, like we said, of translation, of how you would translate something, not only what translation you're using, but how you would do it in the first place.
Right.
Because words can be translated differently.
Mm-hmm.
And
Spelled differently.
spelled differently, all
Right.
that stuff, is simple matters of the fact that you can do this with any other book.
Literally, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I've seen examples of it done with Moby Dick.
Okay.
It was like Moby Dick, and it was like, oh, look at this, look at that.
Secret code.
Now
It's like
we have
playing everybody, like somebody playing every record in their collection backwards just to see if anything sounds like a hidden message. You're gonna find something sounds like a hidden message. Yeah.
Because you're looking for it.
Right.
And, I mean, just statistical things will tell you, like, okay, you're going to get stuff sometimes.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
No.
But they claim, like, Hitler, 1941. Now we know Hitler comes up and... I'm just making up a year, but you get it.
No, I get
I
it.
guess he was, 39? Doesn't matter. And
Well, he started getting real grumpy around World War One.
Yeah. But it's just, it's a thing. And so this movie is based on using the Bible code
Okay.
to tell the future.
Okay.
And it's a thriller and an action movie, maybe.
Well, according to the cover, without a doubt, the most impressive apocalyptic thriller ever.
Well, look at that. Let's focus on the family.
Oh, we know that they're reliable.
Yeah.
Historically reliable on this podcast.
So that's what we're doing next week. This movie about Omega Code. So that should be fun.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, get stoked, baby. So that's our show.
That's our show.
And remember, if you do like the show, please give us some of those 5-star reviews on whatever podcast app or service you're using. And tell your friends about us any way that you can. Social media, emails, direct contact with them.
Smoke signals.
Smoke signals. Anyway, because we need you to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Links to everything are in the description of this episode. And go to their website and send us a comment or a question.
Yeah.
So we can do a mailbag.
Tell us when we're wrong, too.
Tell us we're wrong. Tell us horrible things about how we fucked up Hinduism.
Please fix us.
Fix me.
I need help.
I just want someone to fix me.
That's all I've ever wanted.
But as always, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And bye.
Bye.